This is Ron Climer, and this is the first of several videos to help you pass your North Carolina real estate exam. And I am going to go over in this book here, Modern Real Estate Practices in North Carolina. I'm going to go over the questions that are back on page 749. It just seems like a pretty good, covers everything that is on the test. And the test, I believe, is about 15% math. The better you understand the math, the less you got to worry about that. Now, if you're pretty good with math already, you probably don't need to be here. But if the math is giving you a little bit of a headache, I think you'll find this to be pretty beneficial to you. So let's get started. I'm on page 749. And as I said, I'm just going to go over these problems. We could do this some other way, but it just seems like a good way to me. It says the value of your house, not including the lot, is $91,000 today. By the way, if you don't have this book, I would suggest that you write this down as we go along. So it says the value of your house today is $91,000. What was the original cost if it has depreciated 5% per year for the past 7 years? So we know what it's worth today. We want to know what it was worth brand new 7 years ago if it's depreciating 5% per year. All right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the 5% per year times 7 years. So it has depreciated 35%. So it has depreciated 35% since it was brand new. So if we knew the new cost, which we don't, but if we do, 35% of the value has depreciated away. So if we subtract 35% from 100%, we can see that 65% of the value is left. So if we knew the new cost times 65%, and does everybody know that 65% expressed as a decimal fraction is 0.65? So the new cost times 0.65 would give us $91,000. So if we only knew the new cost, but we don't. That's what the question's asking for, the new cost. So if multiplying gets us here, then dividing would get us back the other way. So if we take the $91,000 and divide it by 0.65, 91,000 divided by 0.65. By the way, I don't know about you, but a lot of real estate instructors teach this math way too fast. I guess you can hit speed on through here if you want to go faster. But I like to teach this slow. I like to do the math with you on my calculator. And that way, and I urge you to get your calculator. And by the way, you don't need any fancy-dancy $75 calculator. All you need is just a plain old $5 calculator. So get your calculator and follow along with me. $91,000 divided by 0.65 is $140,000. Now, that's the right answer. $140,000 is the right answer. And so that's the way you do it. You take the $91,000 and you divide it by how much has depreciated, subtract it from 100%, and that gives you the new value. But you know, most of this math that's on the North Carolina real estate exam, you're never ever going to need to know this in real life, I don't think. Maybe you will, but I doubt it. But what you do need to do is pass the exam. And I don't care how you get past the state exam. Any way you get past it is fine with me. So would there be anything wrong with going down to the 4 choices? If you stop and think about it, if choice A, well, let's just say that choice A is 140,000. It's not, but let's just say it is. So if choice A was $140,000, if we times that by the 65%, all right, $140,000 times 0.65%, voila, there's the answer. So if you did that with the 4 choices, only one of them would come to the $91,000. You know, like I say, I don't care how you get there. You might call that the cheater way. You might call it the no pride way. And I call it the no pride way because you come out of the exam, your buddy says, oh, I failed, how about you? We say, I passed. But I'm embarrassed because I did the arithmetic backwards from the answers. I don't think you need to be worried about that. Y'all agree with that? All right, I'm erasing this, and we're moving on to question number 2. Question number 2, question number 2, what was the price per front foot for a 100 by 125 foot lot that sold for $125,000? By the way, in this question, they give us the lot dimensions, 100 feet by 125 feet. And I assume everybody knows those little things there mean feet. But I assume that your instructor told you in real estate school that when you see a lot dimension like this, the first number, traditionally, usually, just about always, customarily, is the front footage. So this lot looks like this, 100 feet by 125. The second number is the depth. The front number, traditionally, usually, is the front feet. So this lot has 100 front feet. And the question is, what is the price per front foot? What is the price per front foot? By the way, anytime you see the word per, the question is this per that. Whatever it is, pounds per square inch, price per front feet, whatever it is. But this question says how many dollars per, no, it says price per front foot, yeah, price per front foot. Well, the price, there's 100 front feet, and there's, what did it sell for? $125,000. So the $125,000 divided by 100. This per that. The number that you say first goes in the calculator first. So that's $125,000 divided by 100 square feet. And my calculator says $1,250 per square feet, which is choice number A in the book. So this per that, price per front feet. So it's just take the price divided by the front feet. There you go. I hope you get one that easy on the state exam. Good luck on that. By the way, if you're watching these videos to help you pass the North Carolina real estate exam, that's great. But if you're still enrolled in real estate school, share this information with your classmates. They will appreciate it because everybody has different levels of, what's the word, skill when it comes to doing math. Let's take a look at question number 3. It says if the savings and loan gives you a 90% loan on a house valued at $88,500, how much additional cash must you produce as a down payment if you've already paid $4,500 in earnest money deposit? So you're buying a house for $88,500. That's the price of the house. And the bank says, we will give you a 90% loan. All right? 90% of $88,500 is $79,650. So that's the loan amount that you can borrow from the bank. All right? Well, if you subtract the price minus the loan amount, it tells you how much down payment you need. All right, let's try that. The loan amount subtracted from the price. $88,500 minus $79,650. So you need a total of $88.50 in total down payment. You need $88.50 in total down payment. And how much have you already paid in the $4,500? So you've paid $4,500 as a earnest money deposit. So if we subtract the earnest money deposit from the $88.50 minus $4,500, my calculator says $4,350. So you need to bring $4,350 additional money for your down payment. We took the $88,500 times 0.90, gave us the loan amount, subtracted the loan amount from the price, gave us the total down payment, subtracted the earnest money from that. We need $43.50 at the closing table. Everybody with me? All right. By the way, if you're not doing the math with me, please start, because I'm going slow enough that you can. That's why I do the math. All right. So $43.50 was the answer to that one. All right, let's see what else we got. Looking at question 4 on page 749 in this book. What did the owners originally pay for their home if they sold it for $98,672, which gave them a 12% profit over their original cost? So they bought the house for a certain amount of money, sold it for 12% more than that, which was $98,672. So $98,672. Let me ask you, $98,672 is what percent of the original price? And the answer is 112%. It's 112%. It's 100% what they paid for it plus 12% profit. So if we knew the original cost, what they paid for it, times 1.12, which is 112% expressed as a decimal fraction. So the cost times 1.12 is going to give us that number there. It's going to give us $98,672, because that's what they sold it for. Is that right? Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, they sold it for this. So if we knew what they paid for it, times 112% would give us $98,672. Well, if that's true, if we did that arithmetic backwards, it should take us to the original cost. So the backwards of multiply is divide. So let's take the cost and divide it by 1.12. All right? You got a calculator? Do this with me. 98,672 divided by 1.12. My calculator says 88,100. So they bought it for $88,100, sold it for $98,672. and made a 12% profit. Okay? Now, could we do this one backwards from the answers? Yes, we could. We could go down to the 4 choices. And by the way, choice A is 86,830. That's choice A. All right? Well, let's take that number times 112%. All right, let's just try it. 86,830 times 1.12, and my calculator says 97,240. So that's the wrong answer. Try that with choice B. Try that with choice C. Well, actually try it with choice B. Choice B is $88,100. Times that by 112, and that gives you the 98,672. So that's the right answer. No pride, but you get the right answer. And you know it costs $61 to fail the test. If you fail the test, you go back and you take it again, $61. And I guess the 3rd, 4th, 5th time, heavens to Bessie, don't be doing that. But some people do. Some people do fail it several times, which is why we have www.northcarolinaexamreview.com. That's a review that we have available for you at a super duper bargain price to go over all the stuff. These math videos are free, but the rest of the stuff we have on that. And by the way, you can call me if you have any questions about it at 828-440-1064 if you got any questions about that. Now, number 5, page 749. What would you pay for a building producing $11,250 in annual net income and showing a minimum rate of return of 9%? Now, I assume if you've been to real estate school or you're enrolled in real estate school, your instructor has gone over this. IRV. This is how we determine the value of an income producing property. By the way, I've got other videos that have this in more detail. More detail. Because what you got to know, the I stands for the net income that the property generates. Well, now in this question, question 5, they give us the net annual income. Sometimes they'll give you another kind of income, like the potential gross income or the effective gross income. You got to figure out what that is. But in this case, they give us the net income. And they tell us we want a 9% capitalization rate. That means that if we buy this property for a certain price, it'll generate 9% return on our investment. If we pay more for it, it'll produce less. If we buy it cheaper, it'll produce more. But if we're willing to accept a 9% capitalization rate, what's this property worth? Now, let me remind you, this IRV, you cover up what you're looking for. If you're looking for the income, the formula is R times V. If you're looking for the capitalization rate, the formula is income divided by rate. If you're looking for the value, which we are in this case, the formula is value equals I over R. I divided by R. So value equals I over R. The R is 09. Is that right? Let me look in the book. Yeah, acceptable rate of 9%. 9% expressed as a decimal, 0.09. And the income is $11,250. That's the net annual income. So the value of that property is the net income divided by the capitalization rate. Well, let's see what the calculator says. 11,250 divided by 0.09. My calculator says that building is worth $125,000. If you paid more for it, you wouldn't get a 9% capitalization rate. If you could buy it cheaper, you'd do even better than that. But if you bought it for $125,000, it's worth, it'll give you a 9% capitalization rate. Go back and watch some of my other videos where I explain this in more detail. And I use the example of comparing this to the $1 million. It makes a lot of sense if you don't quite understand this. Well, I'm trying to put 5 of these videos, 5 problems on each question. So I'm going to end this video. Let me ask you, please go to www.northcarolinaexamreview.com and take my free practice test. I have a free practice test there. It has no math whatsoever on it. It doesn't have any math on it. It's all other stuff. And take my free practice test and just see how you're doing. If you're doing fine, go take the test. If you're not doing so fine, enroll in my little review class, and I think you'll find it'll be a big, big help to you. Little review, big help. I'm going on to the next one, but I'm going to stop right here.